Chapter
NK
541, A Petty Man Can Save Fabric.
Inside the wooden house, Van Han and Lu Waimong had just returned and began preparing dinner. "Tonight we will stir-fry vegetables, eat them while still hot," Van Han whispered, taking out meat and slicing it thin.
"Then I will boil a pot of water."
Lu Waimong carried a clay pot to fetch water. Lu Wai Thursday came up from downstairs. She had just fed the rabbit and the fawn.
Chee chee chee.
Dog Egg climbed in through the window, hurrying to So Fong.
"Still know how to come back?"
So Fong laughed angrily, opening his palm for Dog Egg to climb on. He sniffed the little creature and noticed a faint pine scent, unique to the pine forest.
Chee chee chee.
The furry tail wagged, claws tickling his fingers.
"Here you go."
So Fong stood up, took 2 walnuts from the sack, crushed them, and placed them on the table.
Dog Egg happily grabbed them to eat. "Only snacks again."
Lu Wai Thursday smiled slightly. After half an hour, hot soup and stir-fried vegetables were set on the wooden table, along with a big plate of green bean pudding.
"Time for dinner," Van Han gently urged. "All right."
So Fong let go of Mao Caw, patted its head, and went to wash his hands. The 4 of them sat around the table, filling their hungry bellies.
"So Fong, what plans next?" Lu Waimong asked while chewing bean pudding. "Tomorrow I will explore the deep forest, maybe hunt."
So Fong replied thoughtfully. "Over near the herd?" she asked.
"Yes, around that area," he answered. "Then we will weave cloth at home," Van Han said innocently. Banana bark had been soaked, fibers combed, spun into threads, and could now be woven into fabric.
"Yes, but do not overwork," So Fong said gently.
"I know." Van Han smiled and nodded. The next morning, sunlight was gentle and the breeze mild.
After breakfast, So Fong and Lu Waimong carried bows and the hatchet into the forest.
"This time I will tie the hatchet to myself."
Lu Waimong used hemp rope to secure it to her side.
"Do not lose it again,"
she said seriously, keeping her hand on the handle.
"Fine, as you wish."
So Fong smiled helplessly. They walked deeper into the forest. She kept checking the hatchet to be responsible. Are we not heading to the herd?" She realized they had reached the mango trees instead. "This time I want to go deeper," he replied, aiming for the edge of leopard territory. "I thought you wanted to hunt Siberian deer," she pouted. "Another day, first let us explore this area," he said calmly. He had 2 goals, one to hunt, another to find Polygonum multiflorum, to nourish the 3 girls and care for their hair. That root, also called tuber fleeceflower, could calm nerves, enrich blood, detoxify, and strengthen tendons.
"Okay," she nodded eagerly, curious to explore.
Seeing her excitement, he asked, "Waimong, would you like to catch crocodiles with me next time?" By the seaside, she widened her eyes.
"Yes, I have thought about them long," he said.
"Do not worry, I have a safe method, I will explain later," he said shyly. "Of course, I never lied to you," he added seriously. "But why catch crocodiles?"
"To eat?" she asked.
"Yes, their meat is rich in protein, tasty like both water and land animals," he recalled from the system.
Crocodile meat was not only high in protein, but also full of essential amino acids, with medicinal effects for cough, rheumatism, and diabetes.
It contained special antibodies and pigments that boosted immunity. If eaten regularly, it would keep the girls healthy for half a year.
"Hearing that makes me drool," she swallowed saliva.
"So, shall we catch them?" he patted her shoulder. "Yes, we must, the skin can make handbags too," her eyes sparkled. "Tomorrow we will go, but do not tell Van Han," he warned.
"Do not pat too hard, it may bounce back," he muttered.
"What did you say?" She blushed and punched his chest.
"Nothing," he coughed awkwardly.
"Pervert, do you prefer big?" she asked angrily.
"Well, not exactly, big has good, small has its own good too," he hesitated.
"What good in small?" she demanded.
Cough, small. Saves fabric, he answered awkwardly. Chapter 542, Defeat Without Injustice.
Lou Van Trek and Ha Thien Vu lay on hospital beds, for needles in their hands, receiving recovery treatment.
Bang bang bang. Creak.
The door opened, a doctor in a white coat entered with a nurse.
Come, squeeze your hand, let's take your temperature. The nurse shook a thermometer and spoke. All right.
Lou Van Trek obediently raised his arm, letting the nurse place the thermometer under his armpit. Your bodies are not in good condition, it will take a long time to recover, the doctor said while looking at the reports.
Doctor, do you mean I will be fine? My leg is okay?
Lou Van Trek suddenly sat up, pulling his four loose.
Heavens, what are you doing? Do not move. The nurse quickly fixed the four, clearly annoyed. Your leg injury is minor, a few days of rest is enough, the serious matter is your body. The doctor spoke seriously. What about my body? Lou Van Trek asked anxiously.
Because of long-term hunger, you both have stomach disease, gallstones, and low blood pressure. More serious is your organs, they are badly affected due to long lack of protein and nutrition. The doctor explained solemnly. How serious is it? Ha Thien Vu could not help but ask. If this continues, within less than 1 month your bodies will collapse, sudden death may happen at any time.
The doctor said calmly. That's serious? The two exchanged glances, remembering So Fong's words yesterday.
Rest and nourish yourselves, from now on eat 3 proper meals daily, slowly restore your health, the doctor advised, then closed the file and left with the nurse. Watching them leave, Lou Van Trek sighed and said bitterly, suddenly I no longer hate So Fong.
At first, hearing his leg was fine, he was angry, thinking he was tricked.
But the doctor's words after made him break into cold sweat. Ha Thien Vu was silent, lifted the blanket, pulled down the patient clothes, saw his ribs showing clearly, his lips filled with bitterness. He had not thought that after half a year, this would be the end.
Creak.
The door opened again, this time a man around 30 entered.
Squad leader, you are here.
They both said in surprise.
Finally you made it through.
Tran Vai Nguyen said emotionally, putting fruit basket aside.
Do not mention it, this time is too shameful.
Ha Thien Vu clasped hands, smiling bitterly.
Yes, only half a year, if not for So Fong then. Lou Van Trek sighed, unable to continue.
You deserve it, why provoke So Fong?
Tran Vai Nguyen sighed. Why are you even defending him?
Ha Thien Vu complained, recalling being beaten by So Fong, then kicked by 3 girls, it was humiliating.
Just open your phone and watch his videos, then you will understand. Tran Vai Nguyen snapped.
He unlocked his phone, searched So Fong, countless results appeared. At the top was, Warrior So Fong barehandedly overpowers a leopard, a human-shaped beast.
Views exceeded 800 million. Ha Thien Vu's eyes shrank, the title was too tempting, the terrifying views and comments made him open it. Let's watch together.
Lou Van Trek pulled his 4-stand closer.
Reminder, high intensity ahead, prepare well. I have goosebumps already.
Ha Thien Vu turned off bullet comments, the screen looked cleaner. On the video, So Fong and Lu Waimong walked on the mountain path. He carried the dead leopard, suddenly stopped and pulled Lu Waimong aside. The 2 viewers grew nervous, influenced by the sound. The video showed him shooting 2 arrows, both missed. So his archery is that bad.
Ha Thien Vu muttered.
You are wrong, finish watching then check his hunting compilation, you will know how terrifying he is.
Tran Vai Nguyen smirked.
Ha Thien Vu clicked his tongue disdainfully, but still stared at the screen. The progress bar moved forward, under the drone camera, the scene of him wrestling the leopard appeared vividly.
So fierce? Lou Van Trek gasped. Is this even human? Ha! Thien Vu was silent for long before speaking. Look at this too. Tran Vigwin showed another video, a compilation of his hunts since arriving on the island. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Arrows flew, animals fell one by one, not a single miss. Then came his cooking, building, inventing videos in the wild. Defeat without injustice. Lu Van Trake said bitterly, lying back down. Yes, defeat without injustice. Hathian Vu sighed, realizing his past provocations were foolish. Recover well, later we will drink together. Tran Vigwin patted their shoulders. Chapter 543, The Tiger? Sofeng, what are you looking for? Lu Waimong curiously watched Sofeng brushing aside weeds as if searching for something. Looking for a herb. Sofeng casually replied. Which herb? She asked. Polygonum multiflorum. Sofeng straightened his back but found none here. Polygonum multiflorum, it must not be easy to find, she softly said. Yes, if we find it then good, if not then forget it, let us hunt first. Sofeng sighed, hoping the aura of luck would bring good news. What does it look like? I will help you look out, she innocently said. Its leaves resemble large taro leaves but rounder. Sofeng briefly described. The two kept walking, passing the taro spot and going deeper into the forest. The forest was dense, vines and shrubs grew wildly, no clear path, only narrow animal trails winding deeper. Sofeng, here is a pile of bones, she suddenly exclaimed. Sofeng turned, in the weeds lay a whole skeleton of a goat. There are goats here, he frowned, the goat had not died long, maybe a few days, bits of flesh still remained. Those scraps had attracted ants and insects, soon to be cleaned off. Which beast ate it? Was it the jaguar from before? She nervously asked. No, the jaguar is dead, these bite marks are not from it. Sofeng pushed weeds aside and found tracks. He stood up, scanning around, already knowing the answer. Which beast then? She shrank her neck, realizing there were more beasts here. A tiger. Sofeng replied deeply. She froze, eyes filled with fear, trembling asked. Sofeng, are you serious? Yes, those bites and tracks belong to a tiger, he said firmly, surprised to see a tiger here after the jaguar. This island gathered wolves, leopards, tigers, even bears. My God, why are there so many beasts here? She frowned. This is the wild. Sofeng sighed. Shall we keep going? She asked worried. Yes, with me here, nothing will happen, he smiled confidently. Without you, I would have left already, she said honestly. Stay close. Sofeng held his chopping knife, cutting vines and branches. Polygonum multiflorum, she muttered while walking. Suddenly came rustling sounds. What is it? She asked wide-eyed. Stay here, I will check. Sofeng whispered near her ear. She felt warm breath, blushed and softly said. Be careful. Yes, remember not to wander. He pushed through bushes, concealing aura, moving forward quickly. He felt no danger, but stayed cautious. After dozens of meters, he looked back, she was watching with bow in hand. He listened, then advanced further. Before him was a small slope, land rising. Beside bushes, some hand-sized birds played, the noisy sound came from them. Waimong, come here, he waved. The sound scared the birds away. Good, she sighed in relief, put away bow, and walked to him. Sofeng turned, searching the slope, a good place for the herb. Anything found? She asked softly. Just some small birds, he smiled. I thought the tiger came, glad it did not, she patted chest, then glared angrily at him. He curled lips, knowing she still remembered the morning joke. He awkwardly turned, kept searching. It will grow, she muttered, bending to help. Indeed, his eyes lit up, spotting a root. He nodded, dug soil with knife, lifted the root, the medicine he needed. So dark, without you I would think it a dry branch, she muttered. Haha, ugly outside but strong medicine. He cleaned the dirt, the root about 7 to 8 centimeters long, not small. Yes, let us return, tomorrow we hunt, he put it in basket, smiling.
Hee, tomorrow catch crocodile, she blinked mischievously.
Cough, back home do not talk nonsense, he reminded again.
Let us go, he said with a wry smile.
Chapter 544, I do not want you to feel.
The wooden stove crackled, sparks flew but were trapped inside the hearth. Van Han was busy at the stove, stirring the iron pot with a wooden spoon. So Fawn, wash your hands quickly, dinner is ready. She called gently without turning her head. He and Lu Waimong returned to camp before dark. Though they caught no prey, they brought back polygonum and some wild mushrooms. Soon, the four sat around the wooden table for dinner.
So Fong, will you hunt tomorrow? Van Han asked while serving him soup.
Good. She replied, lifting a clay bowl of meat. After dinner, they rested. So Fong washed polygonum, cut a quarter, saved the rest to dry.
Cook herbal soup,
he said with a smile.
Van Han asked nervously, so Fong, are you ill? No, it is for you. He spoke warmly.
Polygonum as main herb, mixed with others, will improve hair quality.
Of course, why not? He answered naturally.
Van Han was surprised, then softly said, it is not necessary, hair is not that important.
Fool, I do not want you to feel, I want me to feel, listen to me.
He stroked her head gently.
So domineering.
She muttered, face blushing. The Lu sisters exchanged glances, covering their eyes. So Fong laughed, placed herbs in the pot, lit the fire. He cut polygonum small, boiled, added other herbs in ratio, covered and cooked for 3 or 4 hours.
Good, we can play mahjong, it will be done before sleep. He said. Yes. Lu Waimong quickly prepared the game.
After 3 hours, they played 7 or 8 rounds, each with wins and losses. The house was filled with strong herbal smell, the pot lid shook.
So Fong lifted it, inside only a quarter left, black as ink. He spoke gently, Van Han, bring 3 bowls. Yes. She placed them on the table. He poured soup evenly into 3 bowls. Add water tomorrow, can use once more. He said softly. Is this poison? Lu Waimong asked, shrinking back. Must we drink? Lu Wai Thursday pressed her lips, already feeling bitter.
Of course, good for hair and body, not a drop wasted.
He smiled. Looks like diluted black sesame paste. Van Han sniffed then asked, so Fong, will you not drink?
I do not need, my hair is much better.
He waved.
His body strengthened, he no longer needed it.
Truly.
Van Han touched his hair, indeed far better.
Good. The 3 girls lifted bowls, blew and sipped. Ah, not too bitter.
Lu Waimong's eyes lit, only slightly astringent.
Glug glug. Taste is not bad. She put the bowl down. Van Han, take my bowl. Lu Wai Thursday handed hers. So Fong, must we keep drinking?
Van Han stuck out her tongue, blackened.
Yes, every few days, 4 or 5 times is enough. He said gently. Fine, I will brush teeth. Van Han took brush, shaking her head. 20 minutes later, the 3 lay on the big bed. So Fong, you not sleep yet? Van Han asked. You sleep first, I am not sleepy. He adjusted her bag, poked her cheek. Do not stay up late, not good. She wrinkled her nose. I know, good night. He nodded. Good night. She smiled, hiding in the bag. Not suffocating like this? He muttered. It was spring, not cold. He sat on the chair, carving wood. The moon hid behind clouds. He yawned, set down the knife. In his mind, a command sounded, check in. Then a screen appeared, showing 11 days lit. A machine voice rang, ding. 7-day check, reward granted. The sound cleared his mind. Another gift pack, what will it be? He muttered, adding wood to the fire. Chapter 545, for diagnoses of Chinese medicine. No NGO.
Van Han mumbled in her dream, unconsciously turning to Nestle against So Fong, rubbing her head to find a comfortable spot and continuing to sleep.
She never changes.
So Fong smiled indulgently, his hand resting on her slender waist, preventing her from falling off the bed.
He exhaled softly as a command echoed in his mind. Open the gift pack. Ding. Gift pack of basic bone scraping skill experience. Ding. Gift pack of basic Chinese medicine for diagnosis experience. Ding. Gift pack of basic ice making skill experience. 3 mechanical tones resounded in his head. Not bad at all.
His eyes lit up, this gift pack might be useful later. He
NK
recalled
books.
the last basic gift pack, which gave crystal smelting, completely useless in the wild.
Make crystal cups? Fish tanks? Or convex lenses to focus fire?
He shook off the messy thoughts and issued another command. Open the bone scraping skill experience gift pack.
Ding. Bone scraping skill experience gift pack transmitting.
Knowledge poured into his mind, images of animal anatomy and skeletal maps emerging.
Is this making me a dissection expert?
So Fong gave a wry smile, the pain fading as he calmly absorbed the knowledge. He raised his hand, seeing no outward change, and breathed easier, relieved he need not explain anything strange.
After a brief rest, he commanded again. Open the Chinese medicine for diagnosis experience gift pack. Ding. Chinese medicine for diagnosis gift pack transmitting. The stabbing pain hit again, and he clenched his teeth, eyes shut, quietly enduring the flood of knowledge.
After more than 10 minutes, sweat beaded on his forehead, the pain finally receding.
He digested the knowledge calmly.
Looking was to observe complexion. Listening was to hear sounds.
Asking was to inquire symptoms. Touching was to feel the pulse. These 4 methods formed the core of Chinese diagnosis. They must all be combined to work. Seems they really want me to be an old doctor.
So Fong sighed, but with these 4 diagnoses, he could treat the girls more precisely if they fell ill.
Ding. Ice making skill experience gift pack transmitting. This time the pain lasted less than 2 minutes. That was simple. He muttered, realizing in the wild ice could be made using saltpeter, and the gift pack taught him exactly how. Since it was not yet hot, he decided to wait until summer, provided he found saltpeter first. So Fong yawned, drowsiness returning. Time to sleep.
He whispered, closing his eyes and soon drifting off. At dawn, the sun rose in the east, and inside the log cabin the 4 began to stir.
How are you? Do you feel unwell? So Fong asked gently, since last night the 3 girls had drunk polygonum tonic, and each body might react differently. I am fine, very well.
Van Han replied with a toothbrush in her mouth, words muffled but her face radiant.
Good. Last night's residue can be boiled again after breakfast, drink 1 more time and it can be discarded. So Fong smiled in relief. No NGO, understood.
Van Han nodded, dipped a towel into the stream, wrung it out, and wiped her face.
I will make breakfast now.
She smiled sweetly, returning lightly into the cabin. So Fong's lips curved, he rinsed his mouth, washed, then also returned, preparing tools to catch saltwater fish.
Be careful and come back early. Van Han stood at the steps waving, watching the 2 leave. We know, remember to lock the door. So Fong waved back, raising his voice. All right.
Van Han quickly replied, then after they vanished she and Lu Wai Thursday went down, set wooden poles to secure the gates, preventing accidents.
I wonder when they will return today. Van Han sighed. It will be fine. Lu Wai Thursday whispered. I feel uneasy, not sure why. Van Han said softly. Maybe you did not sleep well last night? Lu Wai Thursday asked with concern. No, I feel very energetic now.
Van Han shook her head.
Could it be from the tonic last night? Lu Wai Thursday guessed.
I do not think so, I feel fine.
Let us weave straw shoes.
Van Han smiled, holding her hand. The straw shoes were worn, always breaking after trips outside.
Are you truly all right?
Lu Wai Thursday still asked.
It is nothing, maybe So Fong is planning a surprise for me. Van Han laughed gently.
That is good.
Lu Wai Thursday walked back with her, thinking it could not be the tonic since she herself had drunk it too.
Chapter 546, Crocodile Fishing. So Fong and Lu Wai Mong walked along the small stream, heading downstream toward the old campsite.
So Fong, what is your method of catching crocodiles? Is it a trap?
Lu Wai Mong recalled what he had said yesterday.
Not really a trap, rather a tool, and quite simple.
So Fong smiled mysteriously. I guess you plan to take advantage of the situation again. Lu Wai Mong pursed her lips and gave him a look.
Ha ha ha, you will know when we arrive. So Fong laughed heartily. As expected.
Lu Wai Mong curved her lips, that was his usual style.
Clop clop. Boom boom. Ah.
I hear water sounds.
Lu Wai Mong whispered. Yes, I hear it too.
So Fong nodded, meaning the swamp was ahead.
Got it. Lu Wai Mong answered firmly. Wait here, do not move, I will check first.
So Fong suddenly stopped.
Focus. He tapped her forehead in annoyance. All right.
Lu Wai Mong stuck out her tongue playfully, rubbed her forehead and warned.
Be careful. Yes, stay here, I will return soon.
So Fong drew his hatchet and walked toward the water sounds. That line sounds like he is teasing her. Haha, reminds me of a comedy line, I buy some oranges, you stay here, do not move.
One face stunned, two faces stunned, three faces stunned, what does that mean? Call me Papa, I will tell you. Get lost.
So Fong hid his aura, stepped lightly to the hillside. The swamp had vanished, replaced by rising seawater.
It seems like a tide.
He murmured, recalling that the first time he found this place it was a swamp, now it was submerged. Near the hillside, a slope about 3 or 4 meters above water remained.
7 or 8 crocodiles rested on it, the rest were in the water. When I first came I could not deal with you, but now I can. N.K. Books.
He observed, then turned back.
Lu Wai Mong saw him return and quickly asked. How is it? Can we catch them? Yes, but I need to prepare tools first. So Fong gestured all fine, then went to the forest. I will help you.
She glanced toward the slope and followed him.
He chose that tree for its straight long trunk and strong flexibility.
With a few swings, he felled it and trimmed the branches and bark.
So Fong, are you going to make a crocodile fishing rod?
She imagined the scene, for the tree looked just like a giant rod.
You are smart. So Fong praised.
I suspect you are joking, how can you hook such huge creatures?
She frowned.
It can be called fishing, or not, there is a difference.
He explained. What difference, still bait and hook right? She asked puzzled. No bait, no hook.
He smiled confidently.
Use a rope.
He pulled out a thick rope from the basket. It was newly braided from hibiscus bark, as thick as 2 fingers, very tough, even he could barely break it.
A rope trap for crocodiles? Like a yoke?
She felt confused.
Yes, rope trap for crocodiles. He looked smug. I regret following you to catch crocodiles today. She pouted, the method sounded unreliable. Do not worry, soon you will see.
He carried the trunk, smiling, then went to the slope with rope.
Better be. She muttered angrily and followed.
Back at the slope, he set the trunk down, tied the rope to its end, measured distance, then dug a pit with a shovel. She watched, still clueless. After more than 10 minutes, with his brute strength, he dug a pit half a meter deep. He stood the trunk inside, wedged it with stones, then covered with earth. "Step back, careful not to get hit," he warned. "All right." She moved aside quickly. Creak, creak. The rope shortened in his hands, the trunk bent, making sounds. "Do you need help?" she asked worriedly. "No, you may get flung away." He gritted. "Oh my, such power is not human. Forgive me, I only know to say oh my." I admire him. He thought of using rope to catch crocodiles. Tomorrow this will be trending. Quick, record it. For watches, please support. Chapter 547, Catching the Saltwater Crocodile. Creak, creak. So Fong gritted his teeth, lowered his stance, leaned back. The tree bent down, only half a meter above the ground. "Emon, come help me," So Fong said firmly. I am coming, what to do?" Louis Mong hurried over. "In the bamboo basket there is a rope, take it and help me fix the tree to the ground," So Fong ordered. She gathered herself, took the rope, tied one end to the tree half a meter above ground, the other end fixed to bushes on the cliff, rapping several times before nodding. "Is this fine?" Louis Mong asked. "Yes." She returned to her spot. So Fong tried releasing one hand, watching the rope hold the tree. "Very good." He sighed, let go, the tree stayed bent. "What next?" Louis Mong asked carefully. "Make a rope trap, then start fishing saltwater crocodiles." So Fong smiled. He held the tail of the tree, measured the slope to the water, tied the rope into a loop. "Too soft, will it work?" Louis Mong shook the loop. "Not done yet." So Fong replied, "Cut a supple branch, shaved leaves and twigs." He inserted it into the loop, propped it up. "It supports, but can it fold?" Louis Mong doubted. "If strong enough, fold as much as you want." So Fong smiled. The branch was elastic, pulling would bend it, trapping prey, if the force was strong enough. "Good, now catch the crocodile?" Louis Mong was expectant yet nervous. "Yes, watch my high-level skill." So Fong grinned, swung the rope, stepped to the slope. "You are not throwing like that?" Louis Mong asked. "Otherwise?" He smiled. "I trained before, take the chopping knife ready." So Fong said with confidence. "Ready for what?" Louis Mong asked. "To cut the rope." So Fong explained, then sought prey. "All right." She held the knife, waiting. Boom. The noise drew the crocodile's attention. "You." So Fong chose a huge one, about 5 meters, larger than most. Saltwater crocodiles are the largest reptiles, usually 3 to 5 meters, can reach 7 meters, weighing over 1,600 kilograms. This one about 5 meters, 1,000 kilograms, too heavy for bare hands, needed the tree's help. So Fong breathed deep, adjusted his hands, familiar feeling returned. "First time using, do not disappoint me," he thought, recalling the rope trap skill from Reward. Hoo-hoo. The loop flew, falling onto the crocodile's mouth. Inside, it must be inside. Louis Mong tensed, the loop precisely caught its mouth. Good. She quickly cut the rope fixing the tree. "It won't cut," she cried. "Keep cutting." So Fong urged, pulling hard, the loop tightened around the jaws. Roar, roar. Other crocodiles stirred, rushing closer. The trapped one thrashed, dragging toward water, its strength frightening. "Not done yet?" he asked. "Done." Louis Mong exhaled, knife cut the rope, the tree sprang up. Good. Pressure eased, the tree added force, lifting the crocodile off the ground, rising. Roar, roar. The others howled, all rushing. "We truly caught one." Louis Mong was stunned, then hurried to help pull.
So heavy.
NK Books. So Fong smiled bitterly, adding force, barely lifted it off ground, hanging.
The tree still bent. What now?
Louis Mong looked at the herd below and the hanging crocodile, awkward.
Pull more. So Fong panted, together they pulled again. After 3 or 4 minutes, the crocodile was dragged up the cliff, still alive, its tail whipping, lunging at So Fong. Louis Mong panicked, shouted, So Fong, dodge.
Chapter 548, A Body of Treasures.
Bring me the chopping knife.
He turned his head and called. Here. Louis Mong threw the knife, it landed at So Fong's feet. So Fong picked it up and strode toward the saltwater crocodile.
So Fong, why don't you run, why face it head on?
Louis Mong shouted anxiously.
Don't worry, its mouth cannot open wide.
So Fong took a deep breath, dodging the crocodile's tail sweep. He flipped onto its back, thrusting the knife hard into its green eye.
Roar, roar, roar. So Fong, be careful.
Louis Mong stood helpless, wanting to help but fearing to distract him. So Fong said nothing, pressed harder, the knife sank deeper, then twisted, crushing the crocodile's brain.
Bang, bang, bang.
The tail thrashed on the ground, but weakened, then stopped moving.
Louis Mong ran up, worried. So Fong, are you okay? Still fine. So Fong smiled bitterly, sat down exhausted. You scared me to death. Louis Mong calmed, rubbing his shoulders and arms.
The live room burst with comments.
Too bloody, but I like it. Such a big crocodile, defeated?
No trade, no killing, stop the slaughter.
Is this the moral icon? Hope he keeps this mindset.
So Fong rested, then after more than 10 minutes, kicked the crocodile, ensured it was dead, then walked toward the hillside. Surely more than 10 of them.
He muttered, seeing more than 20 crocodiles around. They won't climb up, will they? Louis Mong stepped back, horrified by their gaping mouths.
Unless they turn into lizards or monkeys.
So Fong smiled. That's good then. Louis Mong relaxed. No rest now, dissect it here.
So Fong returned to the carcass.
What, here? Not take it back? Louis Mong asked hesitantly. Do you think I have divine strength? So Fong laughed bitterly.
The 5-meter crocodile weighed nearly 2,000 jin, 1 ton, impossible for 2 people to move.
Cannot move it? Louis Mong joked.
So Fong stayed silent, knowing even if possible, under drone cameras he must keep low profile.
Just kidding.
Louis Mong smiled at his silence. Cut out the meat, keep the bones.
So Fong raised the knife. All right.
Louis Mong nodded, drawing her dagger. So Fong sharpened his blade, tore open the armor scales, peeled them off. That alone took nearly 1 hour, then he cut through thick fat to remove organs.
Do we need these?
Louis Mong wrinkled her nose at the bloody pile. Of course, liver, kidney, blood are treasures.
Too heavy, but precious. So Fong sighed. Crocodile kidneys tonify qi, hanged with herbs heal coughs. Crocodile liver nourishes brain, blood heals eyes. But you have no containers. Louis Mong pouted. Crocodile bones strengthen tendons, cure pain, rich in calcium to prevent osteoporosis. Yes. So Fong nodded, scraping bones, cutting meat. Louis Mong packed meat into baskets, tied large chunks aside. So Fong, why so skilled at scraping bones? She asked curiously. He could not mention system experience. After another hour, all was done. Finally finished, late already, let's go back. So Fong exhaled, cleaned his knife. He hung the crocodile on a tree 7 or 8 meters high, tied the rope. Tomorrow we move it. All right. Louis Mong nodded. Chapter 549, Resting Overnight.
Louis Mong crouched down, pulled the bamboo basket with rope from her shoulder, bit her teeth tightly, her face flushed red as she trembled to stand.
Do not force yourself, be careful not to hurt your body. So Fong frowned and reminded. It is fine, let us go, or else we will not return before nightfall.
Lu Waimong waved her hand awkwardly. So Fong carved a wooden stick as a carrying pole, tied the big piece of meat and the crocodile skin, intending to bring them back.
Hack hew, hack hew. Lu Waimong marched while chanting rhythm, leaving footprints on the way back. So Fong followed behind, staying alert and observing around.
While handling the saltwater crocodile, more than 2 hours of skinning and boning had passed. The blood smell spread deep into the forest, likely to attract predators. Around here many beasts roamed, such as red wolves, bears, wolves, and cats.
Dap dap dap.
Soon, the two returned to the old camp.
Ho ho ho. Lu Waimong panted, body bent. All right. She stopped, trembling, set the bamboo basket down.
Waimong, open the crocodile skin, use it to pat under the meat.
So Fong whispered. Okay.
Lu Waimong responded, removed the crocodile skin, spread it out, let So Fong place the meat on it, keeping it off the dirty ground.
We still need 2 to 3 hours to reach the camp.
So Fong sat on a rock, raised his head at the sky, time was late, in 2 hours night would fall.
Maybe we will stumble in the dark.
So Fong said bitterly. It is nothing, the real danger is that beasts become active at night.
Lu Waimong replied anxiously. If not, we can abandon some meat. So Fong sighed, thinking lighter loads may help reach camp before night. Yes, it makes sense. He could not help but laugh. Otherwise, let us stay here tonight, return tomorrow.
Lu Waimong suggested. If we do not return, Van Han and your sister will worry. So Fong smiled bitterly, more than that, sleeping outside with bloody meat would attract beasts despite the fire. Then there is no other choice. Lu Waimong looked at the red meat, reluctant to throw away, and wasting food was shameful. Let us stay near the stream tonight, return tomorrow.
So Fong sighed. Okay.
Lu Waimong stood quickly.
Wait, rest a while, do not rush.
So Fong gently pressed her shoulder.
We can rest at the stream, it is only 10 minutes away.
Lu Waimong blushed.
All right.
So Fong stood, lifted the crocodile meat again.
Lu Waimong tied the crocodile skin firmly to his carrying pole. Let us go. So Fong took a deep breath and stepped forward. Wait for me.
Lu Waimong bit her teeth, lifted the heavy basket again.
Rumble. You rest, I will collect firewood, do not leave this place. So Fong ordered. Okay.
Lu Waimong waved weakly, wanting to follow but too exhausted, lacking his strength. So Fong carried his blade into the forest, cutting wood, needing much to block wild beasts. Every 10 minutes he carried logs back. Lu Waimong lit fires forming a half-circle protecting the crocodile meat. As night fell, So Fong brought the last load, enough to keep the fire until dawn. He glanced upstream, silently prayed Van Han not act rashly, then built a wooden frame to hang crocodile meat. He nodded, skewered meat on sticks, hung them to smoke, hoping to lessen the blood smell, or else surviving the night would be hard.
With so much meat, it took more than half an hour. Sizzle. Blood dripped into the fire, crackling and drying quickly.
Darkness covered, silence spread, only crackle of burning logs remained.
Lu Waimong cut meat, skewered it, handed to So Fong, smiling. It is salted, ready to roast. All right.
So Fong placed meat near the fire, letting flames cook slowly.
Gurgle.
Her stomach growled, clearly hungry.
Wait, eat after it cooks.
So Fong spoke gently, crocodile meat might have parasites, only high heat could kill them.
Yes, fine. Lu Wai. Mong pursed lips, patiently waited. I wonder what Van Han and your sister are doing now. So Fong suddenly sighed, thinking of their worry tonight. Chapter 550, Come closer if you dare.
At the main gate of the fenced camp, Lu Wai Thursday and Van Han held torches waiting. They still have not returned.
Van Han's little face showed worry. Nothing will happen. Lu Wai Thursday reassured. Shall we go search for them?
Van Han turned to look at Lu Wai Thursday.
We do not even know where So Fong and Wai Mong went, how could we find them?
Lu Wai Thursday replied helplessly.
If only we had asked clearly. Van Han sighed. Do not worry too much, nothing will happen. Lu Wai Thursday patted the girl's shoulder to comfort her. Really?
Van Han bit her lip and looked up. Night had lasted long, she knew So Fong and Lu Wai Mong might not return tonight.
Yes, if anything happened, the helicopter would already come. In Lu Wai Thursday's dark eyes was certainty.
That is right, at least they are not in mortal danger.
Van Han released half her anxiety. All right.
Van Han lifted her torch, eyes full of hope. Time passed slowly. By the third watch the wind swayed the flames, she lit another torch, half an hour slipped by. Lu Wai Thursday pressed down her worry and said, let us go inside, tonight they surely will not return.
All right.
Van Han pursed her lips, glanced at the dark forest, then turned back into the yard, closing the gate with Lu Wai Thursday, propping it with a wooden bar. Of course, with So Fong's endurance, he will return tomorrow.
Van Han forced a smile. Yes, after all he once fought and won against a jaguar.
Lu Wai Thursday's worry eased, her younger sister would be safe with him.
Yes, let us prepare dinner. Van Han smiled. They returned to the cabin, took out the iron pot to cook. Sister Thursday, should we cook more, maybe they will return soon. Van Han hesitated holding the pot. All right, if they do not come back, we will keep it for breakfast. Lu Wai Thursday nodded. Yes. Van Han smiled, thinking perhaps So Fong would return after dinner.
She poured more water into the pot, placed it on the stove, then sliced meat. Over half an hour passed, dinner was ready on the wooden table, but So Fong and Lu Wai Mong still did not return.
Sister Thursday, let us eat. Van Han gently called. All right.
Lu Wai Thursday withdrew her gaze from the window, sat at the table.
Eat quickly, it will not taste good cold. Van Han served meat soup. You eat too. Lu Wai Thursday sipped hot soup.
They talked sparsely, until the hot soup turned cold, they only half filled their stomachs.
Cannot eat more?
Lu Wai Thursday asked softly.
Sister Thursday is the same. Van Han forced a smile. You are also worried about them, right?
Van Han rested her chin on her hand.
A little. Lu Wai Thursday sighed. Sleep together tonight, from tomorrow they may return.
Van Han pulled Lu Wai Thursday's hand.
All right. Lu Wai Thursday felt at ease. Clang clang.
The burning wood crackled, sparks flying. I did not expect crocodile meat to taste so good. Lu Wai Mong rubbed her belly, unwilling to move after roasted crocodile. Fresh would taste even better. So Fong washed his hands, looking at the roasted crocodile meat, eyes full of regret that she could not taste it fresh. The bonfire suddenly made strange sounds, catching their attention.
All right.
Lu Wai Mong grew serious, quickly threw in more wood, the flames rose higher. So Fong took up the longbow, dark eyes watching. He saw pairs of green eyes, wolves.
Lu Wai Mong added would then seized the carbon bow, placed arrow, nervously asked, So Fong, what is it?
Wolves, about 4 or 5. So Fong said gravely, arrow drawn, ready to release.
Ah woo. 4 gray wolves rushed from the grass, body size like huskies.
Truly wolves. Lu Wai Mong stepped back, tears welling. The fire blazed, unless they wished for death, they would not dare attack.
Ah woo.
For wolves lingered outside the fire, seeking a way in, tempted by the hanging meat.
These wolves look familiar. So Fong frowned. Could they be the same ones from the old camp?
Lu Waimong asked, in the firelight faintly seeing Tan Lang.
Yes.
So Fong said gravely.
Awu.
4 wolves growled, green eyes staring at them.
Lu Waimong.
Assured they could not approach, loosened and waved mockingly, come closer, if you dare.
So Fong gave a wry smile, the girl was bold. Awu. 1 wolf circled near the stream, lowering head to test the depth. So Fong, is it going to cross the water? Lu Waimong shrank back, no longer daring to mock.
Possible. So Fong stared, ready to shoot if it moved.
Chapter 551, One Punch to Kill.
The gray wolf growled low, finally it did not go into the water but turned back to gather with 3 others.
So Fong, if they do not leave, what should we do?
Lu Waimong tilted her head and asked, right now So Fong was her pillar.
They will leave.
So Fong whispered, holding the goat horn bow, aiming at a gray wolf.
Whoosh.
Without hesitation he released his fingers, the arrow flew out, at such close range with his skill it pierced the wolf's throat.
Awu. The gray wolf cried miserably and fell, the other 3 wolves howled and ran away in fear.
What, do you still hope they stay to keep you company?
So Fong teased. Of course not. Lu Waimong pouted.
She looked at the gray wolf still gasping by the fire and asked softly.
So Fong, should we drag it in, the arrow is still on it?
No rush, wait until it is fully dead.
So Fong said seriously.
He raised his head toward the deep forest, the wolves had retreated, but what beasts might come next?
Looks like we cannot sleep tonight.
Lu Waimong wrinkled her nose, yet she was not flustered, the wolves only made her more alert. Even she smelled the blood, how could other beasts not notice? The wolves were only the first wave. Sure enough, after half an hour, danger approached again. Rustling came from the bushes, then 8 green glowing eyes appeared. Red wolves. So Fong said gravely, putting down the bow and grabbing the chopping axe, against so many wolves' arrows were not enough.
So many red wolves.
Lu Waimong's face went pale, 8 wolves circled just a few meters from the fire.
Do not worry, I am here.
So Fong said with confidence.
Chit chit.
The wolves cried, eyes shining green in the firelight, staring at the fallen gray wolf. They probed closer, pawing at the body. Back off, do not touch our spoils. Lu Waimong shouted, that carbon fiber arrow was very important for hunting later.
Chit chit.
The wolves stepped back, gave odd cries, then lunged forward again to bite the corpse.
So Fong smirked, Lu Waimong was truly brave. 8 wolves, I can handle them.
So Fong inhaled, grabbed a burning log and the axe, stepped back.
So Fong, what are you doing? Lu Waimong asked startled. Stay here, do not move.
He told her, then rushed forward, leaping over the fire.
So Fong, are you mad?
Lu Waimong screamed, her heart pounded, she quickly readied the bow to cover him. The drone recorded it, in the control room Hamin and others held their breath, shocked by his move. Foolish again, but he must be careful. No Tin Noyet clasped her hands tight, fingers pale.
What is he trying to do? Hamin muttered, if not for the program he would suspect it was arranged for drama.
Tai Din pressed her lips, her hands clenched into fists.
Teacher Ha, tell the rescue team to be ready. No Tin Noyet urged. The crew will arrange.
Hamin waved, eyes glued to the screen. So Fong landed behind the wolf, kicked its body into the fire.
Chit chit chit.
The wolves circled, hesitating before his torch.
Let me train you with my skills.
So Fong muttered, confident he could fight 8 wolves.
Chit chit chit. The pack howled and attacked. Ah, So Fong, be careful. Lu Waimong cried, hands trembling, sweat soaking her palms.
His eyes sharpened, he swung the axe, wounding the nearest wolf so it retreated. The others still lunged, he threw the torch, then smashed his fist down killing 1 wolf instantly.
Chit chit chit.
The wolves acted together, some tried to flank from behind.
So Fong, behind you. Lu Waimong warned, afraid to shoot for fear of hitting him.
Before the camera, a fierce battle raged, the wolves were beaten back, yet he remained unharmed.
Chit chit chit. The remaining wolves howled then fled. 5 ran away. So Fong cracked his neck. So good.
Lu Waimong sighed in relief, she thought her heart could not take much more.
Chapter 552, The Lynx.
Lu Van Trake and Ha Tien Vu were stunned. In front of them was a laptop, Douyu app running, showing live images of So Fong and Lu Waimong.
This So Fong is too fierce. Lu Van Trake swallowed and said. Yes. Ha Tien Vu smiled bitterly.
All day they had watched So Fong live, from catching the saltwater crocodile to killing the red wolves, their hearts had long been shaken.
No surprise, the first place can only be him. Lu Van Trake said. It should be first and second.
Ha Tien Vu sighed, reminding that the Lu sisters and So Fong were teammates, the second place could not belong to others. His face dimmed, losing the chance for first place felt regretful.
Lu Waimong asked with concern, So Fong, are you okay? I am fine.
So Fong replied softly, picking up 2 red wolf corpses, then one half alive, and carried them back to the fire. He threw them aside casually.
You scared me to death.
Lu Waimong held his hand and tapped his chest naturally.
I was confident.
So Fong scratched his head and laughed.
But you cannot be reckless.
She scolded seriously.
Understood.
So Fong nodded, knowing she worried for him.
Tomorrow I will tell Van Han to control you. She pouted angrily. Please do not.
So Fong waved quickly, if the girl knew, she would worry a long time.
Lu Waimong teased, So Fong also knows fear.
Not fear, I just do not want her to worry.
He said gently.
After all, she is my childhood companion. He sighed, washing blood from his hands in the stream.
So good. She murmured.
You and your sister also have deep affection.
He smiled. She only nags, not good at all. She replied. Ha ha ha. So Fong laughed loudly. Laugh so loud, you may bring bears. She glared. It is your mouth calling them. He pinched her cheek. You are the one. She blushed. Ha ha ha. He let go, embarrassed. The fire crackled, sparks flew, they sat turning crocodile meat. What about the wolves? She frowned. Tomorrow. He whispered, fearing the blood would draw beasts. Okay. She nodded, piling them aside. Ah. She yawned, eyes hazy. Sleep a while, I will call if danger. He said. Your eyelids are heavy, are you not tired? He smiled. Sleep, later you take the night watch. Soon she slept, breathing steadily. Truly tired. He whispered, she could sleep even on uneven ground. He added wood, fire blazed, crocodile meat smoked. I wonder if Van Han sleeps. He looked upstream and murmured. Suddenly bushes rustled, green eyes appeared. A lynx? He frowned, seeing the wildcat sit by the fire watching. Lynx, also called wildcat, looks like a big cat, a medium predator. Not stealing? He muttered. They stared silently. Viewers commented wildly. What is that? Looks like a Maine cat. So Fong does not kill it? Strangely peaceful, do not break it. Time passed, the lynx still stared. So Fong cut crocodile meat, tossed it. The lynx flinched, then ate, glanced at him, and left. He smirked, kept grilling, hearing the command, Mark. Ah. He yawned, looked at Lu Waimong sleeping, tonight he must stay awake. Again rustling, the lynx returned, sat by the fire. They stared quietly. Fine, I give in. He sighed, cut another piece, tossed it. The lynx ate silently and disappeared. Chapter 553, Raiding the Zoo? Woo woo.
Lu Waimong covered her mouth, instinctively raising a hand to block the sunlight on her face. After a moment she lowered her hand, sat up suddenly, her black eyes wide with worry as she looked around.
Seeing everything safe, she breathed out in relief and gently asked, "Did you stay awake all night?" "No, I just dozed off a bit."
So Fong opened his eyes, lying.
"Why did you not wake me?"
Lu Waimong pursed her lips.
"At first I wanted to, but I fell asleep and forgot." So Fong forced a smile. "Let us go."
He agreed briskly, though inside he hoped last night's scene would not repeat.
"So Fong, were you hungry last night?" Lu Waimong asked suspiciously.
In front of her hung roasted crocodile meat, ashes still smoking, and the large square piece was missing 2 chunks.
I was a little hungry." So Fong answered awkwardly, keeping silent about the lynx.
"If I had known, I would have roasted more meat for you."
Lu Waimong muttered. "All right, pack up and let us return, Van Han will be worried."
So Fong shifted the topic.
More than 10 minutes later, after salting the meat, they prepared to leave.
The dried crocodile meat was lighter, but with 3 red wolves added the load grew.
"Can you manage?" Lu Waimong worried as So Fong carried all 3 wolves. A man must not say he cannot.
He forced a grin, though his shoulders were at their limit.
"No need, let us go." He inhaled deeply and stepped forward. "Wait for me."
Lu Waimong hurried with her basket, clutching a wolf to follow. Elsewhere, after 8 in the morning, Van Han and Lu Wai Thursday woke, carrying things to the stream to wash. Van Han yawned, she had only slept 3 or 4 hours. Lu Wai Thursday also yawned, they had struggled long to fall asleep.
"Sister Thursday, after breakfast let us go find them," Van Han said softly. "I think after breakfast we should wait, maybe they will return, to avoid missing each other." Lu Wai Thursday replied.
"Yes, that is true."
Van Han nodded.
They finished washing, returned to fetch a pot and board, and divided tasks for breakfast.
"Is this leftovers still edible?" Lu Wai Thursday sniffed the meat soup. "Let me try."
Van Han sipped with a spoon, then wrinkled her nose regretfully.
"What a pity." Lu Wai Thursday sighed and poured it out. "Should we cook a bit more, maybe So Fong will be back soon?"
Van Han pondered, then took more meat to prepare. Lu Wai Thursday saw the board and understood her thought.
After over
NK
20
books.
minutes, 2 hot pots of stew were set on the table. "We eat one pot, the other will be for them, if not we will keep it for dinner." Van Han smiled. "All right."
Lu Wai Thursday placed bowls and chopsticks, and they sat to eat.
After eating they sat idly, not in the mood to do anything else. Woof woo. Mao Ka climbed down, pawing Van Han's clothes for food. "Hungry? I will get you some greens."
Van Han stroked its chin, then fetched a wild vegetable from the garden, washed and put in its bowl. She leaned at the window, whispering, "Why are they not back?"
"Wait a bit."
Lu Wai Thursday stood beside her.
"They must be doing something dangerous," Van Han said firmly.
"In truth, So Fong only takes risks so we can live better," Lu Wai Thursday said softly.
"I know, he gave so much," Van Han said, moved. "You are great too." Lu Wai Thursday put a hand on her shoulder, they exchanged glances and laughed. "Sister, open the gate."
Suddenly Lu Wai Mong's voice called.
"It is Sister Mong,"
Van Han exclaimed, looking down the stream, seeing 2 figures.
"All right."
Lu Wai Thursday's heart finally settled, she pulled her sister down to open.
Creak.
The gate opened, both rushed to greet them by the stream.
"At last you are back." Van Han spoke with grievance. She glanced at the load and asked, "Red wolves, crocodile, did you raid a zoo?" It is a long story, let us go inside."
So Fong smiled bitterly, his burden nearly unbearable. Carrying the strength of 1,000 caddies and the weight of 1,000 caddies are two very different things.
Van Han dropped the wolf in her arms to the ground, easing the load. Let me help you. She reached out. No need, just hurry.
So Fong refused gently. Still a few hundred meters from camp, he pressed forward.
Chapter 554, Children Who Never Grow Up.
So Fong removed all the gear from his shoulders, set it on the steps, then sat down exhausted. Lu Wai Thursday carried the dead wolf, following with her sister. Van Han hurried upstairs, fetched water, and handed it to So Fong and Lu Wai Mong, gently saying, "Drink quickly to quench your thirst."
Thank you. Lu Wai Mong dropped the bamboo basket, sat down on the ground without caring about her image, and gulped down the ceramic cup of water. Much better. So Fong exhaled after drinking, leaning calmly against the steps. So tired. Van Han crouched, holding So Fong's hand, and asked with concern, "Are you hurt?" "No, I am fine, only a bit tired." So Fong smiled warmly. Gurgle gurgle.
His stomach growled loudly, the clearest answer.
Clatter clatter. Lu Wai Mong's stomach echoed. "I will warm up breakfast for you, there is porridge." Van Han turned upstairs with a smile. "All right." So Fong replied. "These red wolves, I leave them to you to handle." So Fong smiled bitterly, too tired to continue. "No problem, leave it to me." Lu Wai Thursday answered firmly, dragging the wolf to the stream with an axe to cut it. "Come on, let us eat first." So Fong waved to Lu Wai Mong, then stood and dragged himself into the house. Van Han turned from the kitchen, chin pointing at the wooden table, saying, "Sit down, food will be ready soon." Soon the pot of stew boiled again. The girl lifted it with cloth, set it on the wooden table, and ladled bowls for the two. "Eat while hot, then rest properly," Van Han urged softly. "All right." So Fong picked up chopsticks, blew on a piece of meat, and ate. Van Han's food is always best. Lu Wai Mong gave a thumbs up, then devoured meat. "Then eat more, if not enough I will cook again." Van Han smiled, scooping more for them. Van Han, last night. So Fong tried to speak, but she cut him off. "We can talk later, it is enough that you return safely." "All right." So Fong was surprised, she was not acting as usual. "Eat, I will help Sister Thursday." Van Han bit her lip, turned, and left downstairs. Tap tap tap. She carried the army knife to the stream, helping Lu Wai Thursday with the wolf carcass. "Do you know why they did not come back last night?" Lu Wai Thursday asked. "I have not asked, but I can guess." Van Han pouted. "Because of crocodile skin?" Lu Wai Thursday cut the wolf hide. "Yes, they must have gone to the saltwater crocodile." Van Han gritted teeth, she had told them not to, yet they went. At the stair corner lay a rolled crocodile skin. "I know, that is why I did not ask, as long as they are safe." Van Han sighed. "Yes." Lu Wai Thursday pressed her lips. Half an hour later, Lu Wai Mong came down with ceramic bowls, washing them by the stream. "Sister Mong, where is So Fong?" Van Han asked. "He ate, then fell asleep, he did not sleep last night." Lu Wai Mong replied while washing, though she did not fully believe him. "Seems he is truly tired." Van Han looked at the cabin, then softly asked, "Sister Mong, what did you do yesterday?" "Yesterday So Fong wanted to catch a saltwater crocodile, so we..." Lu Wai Mong thought and then told, but skipped the dangerous parts. The girls quickly understood the cause. "I see." Van Han nodded, continuing to butcher the wolf. "Van Han, are you not angry?" Lu Wai Mong asked. "Not angry, only worried." Van Han replied, proud. He, really?" Lu Wai Mong teased while helping. "Of course." Van Han affirmed. "Ha, our little lowly has grown." Lu Mong sighed. I am not a child.
Van Han blushed, glaring.
You look like a child.
Lu Mong pinched her cheek.
NK books.
You do not look like an adult either.
Van Han retorted.
You both are like children who never grew.
Lu Thursday whispered. When I develop, I will be fine.
Lu Mong flicked hair, full of confidence. You must develop first.
Lu Thursday glanced at her flat chest. I will, no doubt.
Lu Mong raised her fist. The three joked and laughed while processing wolves. After an hour they finished, then worked on 3 red wolves, taking 2.5 hours. Since dead overnight, their organs were discarded, meat was hung by the stream, smoked into jerky. Then they filled jars with water, added ash, and soaked hides to soften and degrease.
What about this crocodile skin? Van Han asked, puzzled.
Leave it, when So Fong wakes we will decide. Let us bring up crocodile meat first.
Lu Thursday suggested.
All right. Lu Mong and Van Han answered together.
Chapter 555, Clay Oven Meat.
So Fong rubbed his face, slowly opened his eyes and sat up. After a nap he felt much better.
No one is here, where did they go?
He looked around inside the wooden house, not seeing the 3 girls. So Fong put on his shoes, stretched, and opened the big door. Outside the sky was already dim, soon it would be night.
What are you doing?
So Fong leaned against the fence, seeing the 3 girls squatting by the stream busy with something.
We are preparing dinner.
Van Han raised her clay-covered hands and smiled gently.
Dinner? So Fong was curious, walking down from the wooden house.
Yes, we dug some taro, preparing to bake them in a clay oven.
Van Han stuck clay onto banana leaves.
Lu Thursday lit a fire beside. In front was a clay oven built from dried earth blocks, the largest pieces at the bottom, smaller above, forming a cone shape. Gaps were left between, fire burned underneath, flames seared the outer clay turning them dark, the topmost turned brown-black. When he was young at the orphanage, Old Man Vang had led him and Van Han to build clay ovens for chickens the same way. When the wild chickens grow up, we will have meat. Van Han laughed, hair strands on her forehead fluttered in the wind, tickling her face. She looked at her dirty hands, then hopefully gazed at So Fong.
Van Han, the clay has turned brown-black, is it ready?
Lu Thursday asked softly.
Let me see. Van Han blushed, circled the oven, and nodded.
Yes, stop burning, take out the charcoal.
Okay.
Lu Thursday pulled out burning logs, then used a stick to remove the rest of the charcoal. Seal the oven mouth.
So Fong reminded. Right, almost forgot.
Van Han stuck out her tongue, then pulled a large earth piece to seal tightly.
Van Han, the meat is wrapped, how do we put it in?
Lu Mong carried the mud balls, placing them beside the oven.
From the top. Van Han used the spade to open the top, hot clay fell inside.
Let me, be careful not to burn. So Fong stopped her, worried she would be hurt.
All right.
Van Han pursed her lips, moving aside sweetly. So Fong carefully placed the mud into the oven, pressed edges to cover, then added taro, and pushed more clay to seal above.
Bang bang bang.
He used the spade to smash clay, filling cracks.
Done. So Fong added more mud.
Van Han squatted nearby, pressing mud along edges, feeling the heat. If too hot she added more soil. She stood, brushed her hands, and whispered.
Should be fine. Good. So Fong stopped.
Van Han washed her hands at the stream, not looking back.
2 to 3 hours. What, that long?
Lu Mong was stunned, then stood sulking.
Haste makes waste. Van Han chuckled. Fine, we wait. Lu Mong sighed.
She remembered something, turned. By the way, So Fong, the crocodile bones are still hanging.
Tomorrow we bring them back.
Sua Fong looked at her, not expecting to sleep so long.
Tomorrow I go with you, Van Han said firmly.
Don't worry, no saltwater crocodiles tomorrow.
Sua Fong raised his hand swearing. I will help you carry them, Van Han said seriously. All right.
Sua Fong agreed awkwardly.
Not married yet, already controlled, Lu Waimong muttered. Shut up.
Lu Wai Thursday glared at her sister, fate is not sealed yet. Sua Fong chuckled, walked across the stream to the grass patch.
The grass sprouted, some leaves unfolded, time to water with nutrient solution. Yes, after a nap I feel comfortable. Sua Fong laughed. Good then.
Van Han sighed in relief, then sternly.
Next time don't push yourself, better throw some meat away, health matters more. All right, I listen. Sua Fong smiled and nodded.
Van Han was satisfied and left. She wanted to boil water, prepare stew with the meat. Time passed. After more than 2 hours, the 3 girls came down with torches excitedly. Careful, the clay oven has no legs, it won't run away.
Sua Fong carried the spade, smiling wryly. Hee, the oven has no legs, but we do. Van Han smiled brightly. Sua Fong laughed, dug off the outer mud. Wow! Still hot.
Lu Waimong touched the soil, steam rising. Sua Fong switched to bamboo, carefully pried out the baked clay pieces, nearly burning his hands. Soon the first taro emerged, its fragrance mixed with earth and charcoal scent spread everywhere.
Chapter 556, Crocodile Skin Processing. Careful, it is hot. So Fong reminded. Who, so hot?
Van Han tossed the taro from hand to hand, blowing hard because it burned.
Put it down, wait until it cools. So Fong laughed and scolded. All right.
Van Han dropped the taro on the ground, watching him dig the clay oven. He cleared the soil outside, then carefully lifted the taro at the bottom. After that, he dug out the clay lumps wrapping the meat. Uneven chunks came up.
Nothing left.
He checked inside, only ashes and glowing soil remained. Let us eat here, I will bring wild vegetable soup, Van Han said gently, preferring to eat outside to avoid dust. She went upstairs, soon returned with bowls and the iron pot, setting them on flat ground.
So Fong broke a clay lump with the shovel, the dry earth cracked, revealing banana leaves inside. Clop clop. Lu Waimong sniffed deeply, swallowing, smells so good, my stomach growls. Wait a moment. He smiled, set down the shovel, opened the leaves, and poured the meat into the dish. I cannot wait, I must taste it. Lu Waimong quickly picked a piece, blew on it, and put it in her mouth, eyes shining. So tasty, you must try. The girls all tasted, praising happily. So Fong, you try too. Van Han offered him a piece with bright eyes. He smiled, let her feed him, chewed and praised, yes, delicious, next time try fish or rabbit meat. Again thinking of rabbit. Lu Waimong teased. No. Her face blushed, still holding a big piece. He shared all the meat into dishes. The 4 crouched, eating roasted meat and sipping soup. After half an hour, all meat and taro were gone, only dishes left. I will get soap. Lu Wai Thursday went upstairs, then brought it down. Lu Waimong helped clean dishes by the stream. So Fong, help carry salted meat back. Van Han called. Okay. He took down the dried wolf meat, carried it upstairs. She also collected the rest, carried inside. Soon, the Lu sisters finished washing, returned to sit at the wooden table, taking out mahjong to play. Next morning, So Fong woke early, took herbs and plant solution to the garden. Around 8, the 3 girls rose, dressed, and came down with washing items. Good morning. Van Han yawned, waving. Morning. He smiled. We slept too much yesterday. He said softly. Right. Lu Waimong washed with cold water, fully awake.
The three lined up brushing teeth by the stream. He smiled, continued work, still half the grass to water. That side not watered, finish it. He pointed. I will. Lu Wai Thursday rolled sleeves, filled the jar, watered the grass. They worked until called for breakfast, washed hands, and went back. After a simple meal, they tidied up and left for downstream. So Fong, saltwater crocodile 5 meters long, we cannot finish its bones. Van Han worried. Just take some ribs and teeth to make crafts, later gift to the dean. He said. Lu Wai Mong recalled, oh no, we forgot crocodile skin. Yes, so Fong, how to treat it? Van Han asked curiously. Same as other hides, dry, soak in ash water, scrape oil, and scales. He explained. The real process had soaking, cleaning, softening, but in wild they did simple. What a pity, crocodile skin useless. Van Han sighed. It can be bags, or keep to sell in the city. He patted her head gently. Chapter 557, Wounded. So Fong and the three girls reached the seaside near the hillside, the territory of saltwater crocodiles. So Fong, did you really kill this saltwater crocodile? Van Han widened her eyes. In front of her a complete crocodile skeleton hung from a big tree, its tail more than 1 meter above the ground. She knew he had slain a 5-meter crocodile, but seeing the skeleton with her own eyes was truly terrifying. Who else could it be? So Fong smiled, waving his hand. It is too huge, with my size, one bite would swallow me whole. Van Han exclaimed. With me here, they will have no chance. He smiled confidently, lowering his head to observe the footprints. The ground was covered with tracks, cats, dogs, even bears, all drawn by the scent of crocodile blood. Take the bones back, this place is unsafe. He spoke gravely, still catching the smell of blood. Then step aside, I will lower the bones. He moved to the tree. All right. The three girls quickly stepped back. He climbed up, untied the rope, and the 5-meter skeleton fell down. Van Han looked up gently, be careful when you come down. So many ants and flies, can this still be used for soup? She frowned as she saw insects covering the bones. No problem, burn it with fire, wash it well, then boil it. He reassured, sprinkling insect powder to drive them away. Only these 4 ribs and the thigh bones are good. He tapped the bones, used the axe to chop tendons, and removed 4 thigh bones. She put them in the bamboo basket, then he cut down 4 ribs and collected crocodile teeth, discarding the rest. Let's go home. He wiped the axe with dry grass. Yes. The 3 replied. He carried the basket and held the girl's hand. So Fong, maybe we won't need to hunt for a long time now? She asked softly. Yes, the salted meat is enough for 1 month. He smiled. She felt relieved, not hunting meant less danger. She walked on absent-mindedly, stepped on a sharp broken branch. Ah, it hurts. Her face paled, she lifted her foot, trembling. He stopped, worried. What happened? Van Han, are you all right? Lu Wai Thursday asked. I don't know, something pierced my foot. She whimpered, one leg trembling, unable to step down. Don't move, let me see. He squatted, held her foot, removed the grass shoe. A 1-centimeter cut appeared, bleeding. He glanced down, saw the bloody branch, and understood. Books. It is nothing serious, just a small wound, but hard to heal on the soul. He concluded. That is good. The Lu sisters sighed in relief. Sit down, let me treat it first, prevent infection. He helped her sit against the tree. But without alcohol, how to disinfect? Lu Wai Mong worried. Soap or ash can work. He explained, taking bamboo water and a piece of soap, which she had brought. Soap can clean wounds? She was surprised. He explained bacteria proteins denature in acid or alkali. She recalled him washing bee stings with soap before.
I see, understood. She nodded. Of course, disinfectant would be even better. He added. He held her ankle gently. Be patient, it will hurt. Yes. She nodded, biting her lip. He lathered soap, applied to the wound, rinsed, but blood kept flowing. No NGO. She bit her lip in pain. Don't move, stop the bleeding first. He pressed the wound with 2 fingers, waiting for clotting. Her face flushed, her foot resting on his knee. Next time, wear waterproof boots. He warned. She had chosen grass shoes for comfort and breathability. Chapter 558, Taking Lynx Meat. Yes. Van Han smiled and nodded. Does it still hurt? So Fong asked gently as he checked the pale wound. A little bit. Van Han replied honestly. Bear with it. So Fong released his hand, the wound still bled but much less. Has it stopped bleeding? Lu Waimong asked with concern. Not yet, but it is not serious. So Fong lowered his bamboo basket, turned his back to the girl and said, Come on, I will carry you back. Do you want to hop back on one leg? You may not even reach the camp before dark. So Fong said angrily, Stop the nonsense, get on, it is not like I have never carried you. Back in the orphanage, he often carried the girl while playing. So domineering. Van Han muttered, then obediently leaned on his back. Hold tight. So Fong reminded. Okay. Van Han wrapped her arms around his neck, her small hands crossed in front of him. So Fong clasped her, then straightened his back. Brother. Van Han blushed, burying her head in his neck, her body stiff. Relax a little, it is better for your wound. So Fong smiled bitterly. He shook his head helplessly, turned to the sisters, Let us go. Okay. Lu Waimong quickly picked up his basket and followed. After walking a while, Van Han leaned against his back and asked softly, So Fong, am I heavy? Even if you weighed 180, for me it would not be heavy. He teased. No matter how you change, you are still the Van Han I know. His voice was full of affection. That is good then. She smiled sweetly but still insisted, But I will never allow myself to get fat, it would be ugly. Silly beauty. He laughed, indeed women love to look good. Do you not like pretty girls? She asked suspiciously. Ahem, we must hurry, it is getting dark. He coughed twice, changing the subject. Ah. Is it getting dark already? Lu Waimong exclaimed. So Fong twitched his mouth and kept silent. A breeze blew, her hair brushed against his neck and face, making him itch. Van Han looked at his broad shoulders, feeling safe. The 4 headed to the stream. After about 1.5 hours they reached it and went upstream. So Fong, are you tired? Van Han asked gently. No, I can carry you back to the camp in one go. He said lightly. You win. She glared at him playfully. Waimong, do you and your sister want to rest? He asked. No need, we can keep going. Lu Waimong replied calmly, her stamina close to his. I also do not need to rest. Lu Wai Thursday said. All right, put me down then. Van Han patted his shoulder. Be careful, do not move too much. He squatted to let her down gently. I know, I am not crippled. She complained and sat on a rock with his help. The sisters also set down their baskets and sat. So Fong, sit and drink some water. Van Han patted the rock beside her and opened the bamboo tube. Okay. He wiped his face, sat down beside her, and drank a few gulps. You drink some too. He handed it to her. Okay. She took 2 sips. Okay. Lu Waimong quickly took it, blushing as she drank. She remembered he had just drunk directly. Was this not like an indirect kiss? Sister, here.
She wiped her mouth and handed it over.
Rustle!
A sound came from the bushes.
So Fong frowned, sensing no danger. He was about to check when a lynx appeared, quietly watching them. So Fong, what is that? Lu Waimong asked nervously, surprised a big cat appeared. So Fong. Van Han grabbed his sleeve. Is that a wildcat? Lu Wai Thursday whispered. Do not worry, it will not hurt anyone. So Fong reassured, recognizing the lynx from before. It will not hurt people?
The three girls were stunned. I saw it before and gave it crocodile meat.
He explained. Ah? Why did I not know? Lu Waimong asked.
You were asleep then.
He said softly. So that is it. She nodded. So now it comes for more meat? Lu Wai Thursday asked. We have no meat today, go away. He waved his hand. The lynx stayed, tilting its head. NK Books. What if it does not go? Van Han asked worriedly. Ignore it, it will leave when hungry. He said casually, then sat down again. Chapter 559, You guess, I guess, no one guesses.
The four rested by the brook for more than 10 minutes as their bodies loosened up. So Fong rose, brushed dust from his seat, and called gently, Van Han, hop on.
All right.
Van Han's cheeks flushed, she planted a foot, looped her arms around his shoulders, then settled on his back as his hands supported her hips.
Hold tight, let's move. So Fong murmured. Okay.
Her small hands crossed on his chest while she tilted her head to watch the lynx.
Coming. The Lu sisters answered, shouldered their bamboo baskets, and followed. Ignore it.
So Fong glanced at the lynx that had stood up, unsure of its intent. He carried the girl upstream, the sisters close behind, while the lynx stayed put and watched them go.
It is not following us. Lu Waimong whispered. What, you hope it will? So Fong asked with a smile. If possible, I actually do. Lu Waimong pouted, keeping a big cat sounded fun. Hardly, if it follows us home the rabbits cannot roam free. Lu Wai Thursday chided, then added, and a lynx is wild, why would it live with you?
A lynx is a solitary cat, skilled at climbing and swimming, endures hunger and cold, can lie in wait for many days, and hunts mice, hares, even small boars and fawns.
Then better not let it follow.
Lu Waimong waved off the idea, deciding fawns and hares suit them more and taste fresher.
So Fong, put me down. Van Han patted his shoulder. Once we reached the cabin.
So Fong replied easily, stepping onto the stairs.
Tyrant.
Van Han muttered, yet let him carry her upstairs.
Creak.
He nudged the door, the wood swung open, he entered and set the girl carefully on a chair.
You must be worn out, sit and rest too.
Van Han said softly, patting the spot beside.
I am not tired. So Fong answered.
He sat before her and lifted her right foot to check the sole wound, the bleeding had stopped, a clot lay there.
It is fine. Van Han smiled. Does it still hurt? So Fong asked. No.
Van Han shook her head.
Really?
He pressed the wound's edge with a fingertip.
TSS.
Van Han drew a cool breath, brows flicking as she forced calm though her eyes wavered.
These next few days do not run around, sit honestly. He set her foot down and stood, then said, I will cook a medicinal broth, and the soul may scar. It is fine, no one sees the soul. Van Han muttered. I do. So Fong shot back without turning, rummaging for herbs on the rack. Let me do it. Van Han tried to rise.
No, he said you should not move, sit still. Lu Waimong blocked her, tell me what to do and I will do it.
It is just a small wound.
Van Han's mouth twitched, feeling half paralyzed for nothing. She glanced at So Fong, then instructed, clean the bones, chop them, put them in a clay pot with wild ginger to cut the smell, the method is like bone soup.
Why moan, keep me a straight rib or a femur. So Fong called. Okay. Lu Waimong replied, curious what he needed it for. I will handle yesterday's hides. Lu Wai Thursday drank a cup of water and headed downstairs. There is nothing left for me to do.
Van Han swung her legs, bored, and played with Mao Ka by her feet.
Kogon blossom, wagon grass.
So Fong muttered, holding herbs for pain and fever alike.
Kogon blossom, also called kogon tuft, has other rustic names.
Kogon is a perennial herb, its tuft can stop bleeding, ease pain, and treat cuts. He tied the herb sack, looked back, and found the girl asleep on the table.
Oh my, would not sleep on the bed.
He whispered fondly, then gently lifted her and settled her neatly, leaving Mao Ka curled at her feet. He rinsed the herbs, chose a clean clay pot, added water and herbs, and stoked the stove for the decoction.
Creak. Sneaking around, what are you up to? He chided with a grin. I feared I would disturb you. Lu Waimong rolled her eyes, glanced at the dozing girl, and asked softly, is Van Han asleep?
He nodded and fed a few logs into the fire.
Ah, you needed ribs, I washed them.
She handed over a crocodile rib.
Thanks. He examined it, not
quite straight, with a slight curve. Here, this one is the straightest. What will you use it for? She asked in a hush.
Take a guess.
His lips quirked, a sly light in his eyes.
You guess, I guess, no one guesses?
She widened her bright eyes at him.
You guess, I guess, no guess you guess no guess. He replied, holding back a laugh. Lu Waimong's mouth twitched, she turned and went downstairs to keep working on the crocodile bones. Chapter 560, Goody.
The fire burned fiercely, and the wood crackled loudly.
Clack clack.
So Fong lifted the clay pot lid, inside the medicine boiled violently, with more than half a pot of water left.
It still needs more time.
He muttered and closed the lid again.
Creak.
The door opened once more. Lu Yiming came in carrying a clay pot filled with processed crocodile bones. She placed it on another stove, added wild ginger, and started boiling the soup. So Fong took out saltwater crocodile ribs, roasted them slightly, then used his army knife to grind both ends, exposing the marrow. He dug out all the marrow, scraped the inside clean until hollow.
Lu Yiming curiously watched, wondering what was so interesting. No NGO.
Van Han smacked her lips, waking up, her arms still with red marks.
If you are still sleepy, lie down and rest, I will call you for dinner. So Fong gently said.
No, if I
NK
sleep
books.
now, I won't sleep tonight. Van Han shook her head. She glanced out the window, dusk had fallen, then looked back curiously.
What are you doing? I am making a goody to play.
He replied warmly.
Interesting.
He turned the dried rib bone in his hand, tapping it lightly.
You even know how to make a flute? Lu Yiming asked in surprise. I watched a tutorial video.
He said softly.
Hee, can it really make sound? Lu Yiming smiled doubtfully. Wait and see.
He frowned, feeling underestimated. He drew 7 dots on the rib with charcoal, the holes of the goody. In fact, flutes can have from 5 to 8 holes, but 7 is most common. Such a time-consuming task. He sighed, spending nearly half an hour just drilling the first hole.
Let me help, I am free anyway. Van Han offered with a smile. Yes, but you must drink medicine first.
He put down the bone, opened the clay pot, inside only a bowl of decoction remained. He poured it into a clay bowl.
Drink it hot, later we will have dinner.
He handed it to her.
Is it bitter?
Van Han wrinkled her nose, staring at the cloudy soup.
Not too bitter. He answered uncertainly.
She pursed her lips, blew on it, pinched her nose, and drank it all.
Clack clack.
Her face scrunched up, expression said it all.
Bear it, it helps healing.
He stroked her head and washed the bowl. Too bitter. She stuck out her tongue, aggrieved.
Also sweet.
She smiled happily.
You greedy cat. He teased, then helped Lu Yimeng with dinner. Sit and wait, almost ready,
he said with a smile.
Okay. Louis Zhu hung the fur and sat beside Van Han, asking curiously, what are you doing?
So Fong said he wanted to make a goodie. I am helping drill holes. Van Han replied with a grin, still grinding.
Goodie? Louis Zhu was surprised, then joined her. Time passed. After half an hour, the log cabin was filled with the aroma of meat. Wild yam stir-fried with crocodile, black fungus stewed with wolf meat. So Fong served dishes onto the table. Move aside, crocodile bone soup coming. Lu Yiming carried the pot carefully. Louis Zhu quickly set the bowls and chopsticks. Here, drink the bone soup first. Lu Yimong ladled it. Hoo-hoo. All right. Van Han blew and sipped. How is it? Lu Yimong asked curiously. Yes, bone soup should taste like this. So Fong nodded. Though ingredients were limited, flavor was fine.
I think it is delicious.
Lu Yimong smiled. Good.
The three girls replied in unison, eating joyfully.
Burp.
After more than half an hour, the four leaned back, stomachs full.
Ah. After eating, I just want to sleep. Lu Yimeng yawned.
Wash your face and you will feel refreshed.
Van Han laughed. I want to bathe, my back aches, I must relax. Lu Yimeng patted her thigh. You worked hard, now you can rest. So Fong smiled. Not going hunting or exploring? Lu Yimeng blinked. No, resting for a while is like a vacation. He smiled. A vacation on a beast-filled island? Louis Zhu curled her lips.
A few days is fine, but too long I cannot endure.
Lu Yimeng pouted. I will light the fire for a bath.
She rolled her eyes at him, then went downstairs.
Louis Zhu also cleaned up and followed.